Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between and all over the world, it is my pleasure to welcome you here to the final round of the pool games in the Open Division. I am Lorcan Murray, and as always, I am showing up to talk about the Irish teams. To balance things out, I am joined by the one, the only, Steph Rapazzo. How are you?
Lorcan, I am having a wonderful day. I rolled into Caorle this morning. I have the pleasure of doing my first game with Hannah, which I've got to do many times before, and it's always a pleasure. And this is my very first game I get to do with the one and only Lorcan Murray, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited that it's a Lorcan Murray game featuring Ranelagh. Obviously, Lorcan's going to know a whole bunch about this Irish side, and we get to see the Munich team, who's had a tough time starting off in this pool. They've lost against their two oppositions, Uprising and Bologna. Bologna Cusp. A bit more shocking, the loss from Uprising. But they're here to save some face. Ranelagh's got the pool locked up. This could be a game that they could steal from them.
It is certainly one that's going to be very important for Ranelagh to finish. If they win this game, they are going into the round of 16 pre-quarterfinals against a team who finished one of the higher placing third place teams in the tournament. If they lose and wind up coming second in the group through some mathematical magic, then they're going to wind up playing the winners of Group OF, which would probably be Bad Skid. And a rematch there is something I think a lot of us would like to see, but perhaps not so early in the tournament. As straight away Ranelagh gets started on offense with that man, Matthew Feely, pulling the strings as he does so well. The puppetry is beautiful as they are swinging their way all the way down the pitch. Sam Murphy goes, and there's a big block straight away. Jonas van Milswich, also known as Millhouse, and it seems like everything's coming up Millhouse right now as he gets that big old D.
Everything's coming up Millhouse. Simpson's references on the first point. Hornschmeyer picks up to go the other way.
Torben Hornschmeyer, of course, someone who played a lot of years with Cusp, won a European title with them, now playing with Munich. And they're right on the doorstep there trying to get in, looking for a way. Ranelagh tried to suffocate them, but it doesn't work, and that's an early break. Benedikt Launauer finds, I believe, Burkhard Schulz-Brock in the end zone for the score.
Not a lot of spin on that assist. A flubber of a throw, but nice throw from Hornschmeyer to get it to the spot, get it on that doorstep there. And M.U.C get a break to start things off. A errant throw from Ranelagh. And they're going to take advantage of those. Sam Murphy's got to have a better handle on those throws to kick things off. Early show of nerves there, perhaps, or just not quite sharp enough to start the game for Ranelagh.
That is, as we see in the highlight, a very flubbery push pass for the score. Well taken in by Schulz-Brock. Great throw by Torben Hornschmeyer to set up Launauer right on the end zone line. So, M.U.C, you were talking about how Ranelagh had this locked up, and I think a couple of people might have made the mistake of looking past M.U.C, especially as they lost 9-5, lightning delay coming into it, to Uprising, which surprised a lot of people. But there was another surprising result in this pool, wasn't there,
Another
Steph?
surprising result in this pool, and that's what put Ranelagh in this spot of being in control of the pool, is they got away with a win against Cusp in a game that was shortened due to weather, lightning delay.
Got away with is a very specific way of phrasing it.
They got away with one. I mean, from a spectator view, I was not there. I did not see it. It was a game where they had 3 breaks apiece, and we'll get into the details of that a little later on as this point continues.
So that's McNulty, Dara McNulty. We know Ranelagh have a very strict O-line. McNulty breaking through it, one of the younger players to do so, and it's a big success for him. And there was Murphy looking for the quick pop-off, doesn't get it away quite quickly. People are yelling, screaming. McNulty with the up-rushing move. Starts to look, no movement from the stack, has to rely on Murphy coming up again. Remy steps forward to try and block him off momentarily. Doesn't quite get all the way, Doyle steps in, and there is that man himself, Ty, picking it up for the beautiful, beautiful score.
It's one of those points where you wonder if they were intentionally allowing the handlers to run a bit of a dominator set and giving them space and time, or the upfield cutters were just a little slow, just a little late to get organized, and the handlers were taking advantage of it as such. Either which way, Ranelagh does cash in on their second calling. M.U.C up a break. It's tied one apiece.
So nice response by Ranelagh, some smooth, heavy open side focus as they work their way down the pitch.
I had a quick chat myself with the man whose name I butchered at the Bologna invite. Rogers is what I've agreed to just call him now, because Farida and Ferdia and all sorts.
Farida Rogers being the correct Gaelic pronunciation of his name.
I think that's what he liked the most. But he was telling me that this team is a lot more focused than their WUCC version, which is a little bit crazy, but because of some of their coaching. Their coach is here. Sarah Mel stepped in, and WCC is now here as an assistant role. They've just got more of that external support with them, and they like what's going on in their heads as M.U.C takes off.
That's Dennis Holzer, who had the disc. He caught the pull, gets it to Naumov, the Russian import, on this German side. Spreads it across to Meyer. Meyer, near sideline. Looking for options, he goes, that's a big one, there's lots of flow, bit of a touch, but not enough to take it away from streaking Tobias Meyerhofer. Meyerhofer thinks about sending it to the end zone, doesn't think about it for too long though. Instead goes for a little bit of an inside, it's floating, but it is sniffed out and snuffed out on the other side by Jack McNamara.
Sniffed and snuffed, that dump was there, he didn't stay engaged, it was covered, but he turned away a little too quick by my estimation.
So we've got Dean McCreary, such a common feature on that D-line offense. Down the line, you see Liam Fletcher. Liam Fletcher's trying to get it back to McCreary. He does, under some duress, but he's able to. And then McCreary right down that open side. They're just going to keep working these spaces as they become available. That's Rory Keogh, not Kehoe. Keogh down to Keenan. Keenan down the line again. So they're working a lot of open sides here. McNamara has Bogan Carey, goes to hit him, he floats it out. The big man tries to toe the line. Good defensive pressure, made that a difficult catch.
And he put the hands over the head there, indicating injury. Bogan, big fella, I've seen him toe a couple lines for some exceptional catches, going back to that Bologna invite, in fact. This time couldn't get away with it. The defense was tight, nothing, no foul about it. I think a couple bodies going to the same place, running out of field, and he hit the ground heavy there. But M.U.C get a D one way or another, and they're going to have another chance to break. It's great to see Naumov out there, the Russian import, Real 5. In fact, the last time I saw him was on a semifinal field right here in Caorle on this very field. They lost to Bologna before they went on to win the championship, but I must say the world politics all about it. I miss seeing the Russian teams about it. If I can just put it simply,
as people, they're lovely, but obviously for other reasons we're not going to go into it too much for now. They are absent. As you can see, the reset from M.U.C, Real 5, who brought like 9 players and nearly made the final of EUCF that year, I believe.
Yeah.
As M.U.C continue to rotate it around. That's Von Falkenhausen. Tries to get free, eventually gets it into the middle. It's a nice quick movement from M.U.C. Kevin Meyer winds up and uncorks one. It's searing, it's floating, it's there for the play. But Murphy is chasing it down every step of the way and gets the comfortable catch in the end. They were looking for Tobias Meyerhofer, but Murphy just turned on the burners. And there's McCreary, one good hook deserves another. He's looking for Keenan, that's floating. Keenan gets up big the first time. Oh, so close, tantalizing.
Well read, missed the grip on what should have been a clean sky. Second half it was nice, but let that one get away from him.
Yeah, I think that's what you get for wearing gloves, to be honest with you.
Are we still allowed to rip on glove wearers?
I think it's mandatory we rip on glove wearers. As Meyer gets that across, he tries to find his captain, and that is why he's the captain. Dennis Holzer centers it back into the middle. Michael stops. He's looking for Meyer. He gets it almost. Sam Murphy with his second D of the point. Got one in one end zone. Gets that one in the middle of the pitch.
Sam Murphy, just a big, lanky body. That's got that go-go gadget arms there. He's got the catch-up speed. He's got it all.
He's going to be extending those arms. Is Ranelagh hoping to extend a lead? 2-1. McCreary waves, go through, clear out. I'm looking for more options. He gets one relief in the form of Rory Keogh. Back into McNamara. McNamara now wants that break momentarily, decides not to go for it. Now he's looking for pops to McCreary. Momentary switch as Holzer comes across to try and help. Fletcher now has it on the far sideline. Fletcher looking in, back into the pitch to McCreary. They're really leaning a lot on McCreary. That's a left-handed over the top to nobody. Dennis Holzer comes in and calls a timeout. And I would too. This is a surprisingly good performance by the M.U.C defense.
M.U.C coming out hot. I think McCreary's mullet was faking one way, his body went the other, and the pass got dropped.
As we're going to have a look at that Holzer layout. Big grab, and then just immediately gets up and pops it right back into stops. And there you can see Murphy getting that D just ahead of Meyer. And while they do this timeout, we're going to take a quick timeout ourselves, so we'll be back after these short messages.
Right now,
he's going to have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block, unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Nova Scotia Electric, become a member.
Don't want to miss anything?
There are loads of tournaments happening, which you can attend either as a player or a spectator. You can find them on ULTI.TV, link in the description.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. The action barely stops here for enough time to catch a breath. As the Ranelagh defense trying to catch up to their M.U.C counterparts. A battle of Dublin and Munich.
Dublin and Dublin.
And the tunics in Munich.
It's
not quite the same.
You're quicker to it than me. Than I. But a nice matchup to get things going here. Munich is doing what they needed to do. Ranelagh looking the favorite, resting their top player who's okay. He's got a niggle in the ankle. It's worth resting in a game where they believe, by their estimation, they've locked up the pool. So,
well, that remains to be seen as Munich, who already have an opening break, and they're looking to punch this one in and hold on to that lead as Holzer with the disc. Everybody filters through. Big layout bid from Keenan. Leaps across and slaps that one down.
what a bid by Shane Keenan. Nice step in front, taketh away, got nice and horizontal, and Ranelagh now going the other way.
So Caorle played that down. It's Murphy on the far sideline. Nice little drop shot to McNamara. McNamara looks to finish the move to Fletcher. He reaches low and grabs the disc to put the lead up to 2-1.
And just as I was saying, that was the kind of start Mook needed. Ranelagh looked to be the favorites here. They get the break back, and they've got the rocket on the field. The Nerf rocket goes off, and Ranelagh celebrates. And now they're playing hacky sack with it. They're having fun, the gents from Dublin, getting their first break and leveling the scoreboard.
As we're going to have another look at that huge layout D. Really impressive stuff by Shane Keenan. That's why he's on this D-line. And there's McNamara catching it, and almost in the same move, throwing that to the back of the end zone for Liam Fletcher to scoop up. Liam Fletcher, over a decade under the influence, scooping up lone-thrown discs. From back in his days at UCD to now playing for Ranelagh here at the EUCF. Most of these players, I think all of them on the line right, maybe not all of them on the line right now, but all of them on the line just there. Of course, made it to the semi-finals for the first time last year at EUCF, so they have ambitions, the desire to go further. A big win against Cusp under their belt. A lot of people would point to that win and say, you know, 8-7, Lightning stopped it, but it's important to note that they were on a 3-point run to take that half. They held their offense, and then they got 2 breaks in a row to go 8-7 up.
Down 5-7, that's a win. A win's a win.
Exactly. As Meyer looking to keep his team in it, gets it to Holzer in the middle of the pitch. Holzer. There's a sweep across from the single stack, and then they look to go for a break to the same side the stack swept to, which is a bit unusual. The whole point of that move is to free up a lot of space for one person. But you'll take it however you can get it. Hornschmeyer, name probably very familiar with a lot of people, especially anybody who watched World Games over the summer. Part of that German team, that historic German team, it has to be said. Hornschmeyer wastes no time uncorking that one, launching it deep, and it is comfortably collected for the score by Nicholas Smith. 2-2.
Beautiful throw by Torben Hornschmeyer, as he said, was a star this summer and has been known around the traps playing with the foreign team, foreign club team. He's spent the last 2 seasons playing with Cus Bologna, won a championship here in Caorle 2 years ago, played with them last year, featured in the final, played with them in WCC, and has experienced maybe a little bit of ultimate burnout after a mega summer like that, playing the WCC and the World Games, and said it's just easier this season to go back to M.U.C, put a season in there, be a bit more of a voice, play a different role, and whether he goes back or not is undetermined at this stage, but for now he's happy to be in M.U.C and he's happy to be throwing assists half the length of the field.
Well, plenty of reasons to go back to your home team. Would also like to say, if you notice any buzzing in front of your screen, that is not technical difficulties, that is actually just the bugs.
That is Caorle difficulties.
There are a lot of Caorle difficulties right now. As that one is almost perfect, but in the end just falling out.
So close to perfect, it was a brick.
So close. But that's the thing, you're going for those big, ambitious, pin them back in the end zone throws.
Aim small, miss small. But if you aim that small and you miss, it's still a brick.
So Feely thought about launching it basically straight away, which would have been an interesting decision. Fairly unusual. They get it across to McNulty. It's Corcoran, Feely. McNulty out there in the handler set. They get it down the line to Deavy. Deavy in the middle. He pops it right back to Feely. Feely now, as they're playing against this M.U.C zone. Corcoran and Feely playing a little bit of give-go between each other, getting it across to Doyle. Not too phased by the zone so far. Got a lot of trust in their handlers. McNulty. And back. Feely. Not really rushing anything, taking his time. Like you said, with Rogers not out there, Feely's going to be primarily running that show. McNulty, another player, is going to be a big part of that, getting a lot of touches on the disc. Nice through play to DV, gets it to Feely. Feely puts an extra bit of float, but Murphy's well there with no defense around, and DV gets the easy pop in for the score, 3-2.
Wobbly assists, a early theme in this game. But a nice point by Ranelagh there. They went through a lot of hands there. Feely, as you said, whether that's a Rogers role or a shared role, the onus is on him right now, and he's getting that job done. On that point there, he really was the maestro of the offense, kept things moving. And a lot of short throws in for the goal. And the Irish outfit here from Dublin are back in front. It's a 1-goal lead, 3-2, a break apiece.
Lots of fluttery push passes for goals indicates one of two things: desperation or hubris.
I don't know which one we can chalk it up to yet. They haven't seen like desperate situations. It's not high stall counts with inclement weather battling down on you, so that the decisions are that hard to make. So I think if we're only going to leave it up to those two options, I'm going with the overconfident hubris.
So Holzer gets it to Meyer. Meyer back to Holzer as Ranelagh come out with a bit of a zone themselves, looking to find assignments downfield and probably trying to run the young legs off Louis Stewart in the process. They get that to Michael Stops back across. That's now with Meyer. Meyer to the far side on the form of Nomov. Searching, eventually gets back to Holzer, who has to run all the way back through. So they're not getting a lot of penetration through the front part of this zone. Nomov working with Holzer. Holzer, he has options all the way out. That stops on the near sideline. Gets it to him. Back into the middle. This is going to be an awful lot of work for them to make it all the way down this pitch. Holzer.
It's a fast-moving zone, a 2-3-2 by the looks of things. That front, those earmuffs at the front are doing a great job of funneling to the middle there. We've had a couple times to reach the sideline, but they're keeping it in the middle. And the throwers are looking at a black wall of prevention.
As that goes back and across to Stops one more time. He's looking for Meyerhofer. Meyerhofer seems to have sat down in the linchpin position. Crucial thing that you need when you're playing against these kind of zones. Holzer comes back under. He faked the overhead. Would you like to see more overheads here from them, Seth?
I would always like to see more overheads in every situation, Gordon. working every single time. Give us the hammers.
Meyerhofer, Holzer, Meyerhofer, throwing it in and around the defense. Shane Doyle tries to sneak through, couldn't get there in time. Now Meyerhofer, that's a beautiful flik. All the way to Meyer, the vision to find that space and that man.
Indeed, you heard me bark a little bit. I wasn't sure I saw the defense coming, but the thrower had a much better look at that than I did. The angle was perfect. The throw was beautiful. I think we only give him a half point because we didn't see the hammer in that sequence. But otherwise, all right, they get the full point. I kid. They went through the hands well. They took their time. The Ranelagh zone looked actually pretty good. It was stifling for the first half of the field, but a bit of patience, and M.U.C found their way through it.
That's very impressive by the M.U.C offense to take their time. Didn't even give up a turn, really. So as a coach, do you think you see that, you're like, good, we delayed them for a long time, they wound up having to take some pretty tough shots? Or do you think, all right, they clearly know how to beat that, so I'm just not going to go with that again?
I think that they still got to vary it. I think it was a great. I think that gives confidence to the defense. It's something that they can use again. It was efficient. It didn't get the job done, but advantage is always in the hands of the offense. And if they can slow things down, they've done a good job. I don't know if they can throw away the game plan completely and stick with that zone because it slowed them down, but I think they can come back to it here and there. I would keep varying things up. There is, it must be mentioned quickly, there is no external weather, no wind, no rain. It is still, and throws should be well weighted.
That was perfectly weighted and chased down by Luke Doyle, and then he just pops it into TV. An absolutely incredible throw, I believe from Caorle. I couldn't quite see through the mass of people.
People are bugs.
Look, it's a lot of black things flying through the air, but ultimately Ranelagh worked that down quite smoothly. You can see how comfortable they are. That's Murphy. That was Murphy who threw it. Really well weighted, so much spin. And then Doyle can just chase it down and get the quick pop into DB. And there's another aspect of Ranelagh. They're so well structured. They all have very clearly defined roles. DB was running that entire way going, I know he has this. I'm just here to finish the play off of. And the timing is right there for them. As we see both teams take a timeout. So we too will take a brief break as we're coming back to this surprisingly tight affair. We'll see you after these short messages.
Right now,
He's gonna have to bid. Just a
Football! Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Nova Scotia Electric, become a member.
Don't want to miss anything?
There are loads of tournaments happening, which you can attend either as a player or a spectator. You can find them on ULTI.TV, link in the description.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making it.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as Meyer with the disc is looking to power his team down the pitch. He gets it to Meyerhofer. Meyerhofer wasting no time, a huge shot all the way down there. McNamara bids! He gets an incredible touch! It's still alive! And collected outside the back of the end zone. That man can fly!
what a bid. I want to have, with everybody here is going to want to have a second look at that one. McNamara threw himself the Mac. That midair correction after was sensational. That looked like there was maybe going to be a second chance, but he hit it so hard.
Mac Daddy.
Macked it out the back. What a play by McNamara there. There is a discussion. Oh, no, there isn't. They're just walking it back to the line.
You're not allowed to do stuff that badass in a pool game.
Hey,
it's not cool.
Don't be so awesome. Foul on your awesomeness.
So McCreary has the disc now, looking to get things started. Nice peel off by Meyer to shut down the options downfield. So instead they're forced to go back to Shane Doyle, back to McCreary, and then he finds that man himself, McNamara. Is he going to conserve that greatness?
No.
There's a pick called.
There's been enough throws in between. The preservation period is over.
That's the benefit.
I feel a completion. I feel a completion coming.
Well, Keenan made a nice move, but Meyerhofer saying like, no, got picked. That's why you're so free. So it goes back to McCreary. McCreary is really crucial to this Ranelagh team,
and
picking up that disc after every turn.
You know, I like a few things about McCreary. One, he wears number 50. Two, he's got a great mullet. And three,
that's a huge throw. Keenan and Ty Bogan underneath it and can't get his fingertips quite around it. There's going to be a little bit of discussion. So what's the third thing you love about McCreary?
Well, the third thing is that he really plays ultimate well, and he can run. He can run this team. He's looking good out there. He's getting a lot of space for himself. Is what he seems like one of those players who's a great space maker. He doesn't get an absurd amount of touches. He's not throwing the big bombs all the time, but he seems like he makes a lot of space. He's got great patience. He's got good vision. So
to sum it up, you would say you appreciate his mullet, his movement, and his machismo.
That's it. And his number. I'm a big fan of the 50s.
The women in them, or just the... Anyway, as we get back to the play, as here comes Holzer trying to work his way down the pitch with a huge shot. He's looking for Meyerhofer. Keenan's there to dissuade it. Meyerhofer gets the big. Keenan on the second attempt, slapping it away, and Meyerhofer hops up and down in frustration, understandably so.
Everybody gets a touch, nobody gets the catch. I think the receiver there thought the D was done, but it was clean in his hand.
McCreary launches one to Keenan straight away. What a shot! What a run!
Straight back at him. What a point we saw there. Back and forth, the layout D in the end zone. Huck one way, Huck the other way, Huck the other way again. Ranelagh finally get the benefit. And there goes the rocket again! So far, these guys are winning the celebration department with they're bringing Nerf toys out on the field. He who scores the goal gets to stomp the air pump. And here's another look at that. And that is like tape to tape.
That's exactly it. And you could see him almost pick up pace to go get that. It's like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. I saw Keenan's cut, and I was like, no, you're way too far away. He's not going to be able to boost that to you perfectly for you to just run onto as if you had magnets. So really well done. Ranelagh responding in kind, pushing the lead out to 5-3. That was a big break for them. I think they probably would like to say, we weren't worried or anything, but I think a couple of us on the sideline were a little surprised at how close M.U.C were keeping it in the early exchanges.
Well, I've seen Ranelagh let bigger leads slip away. I'll say that. I don't feel that that's happening here. I don't feel the same way I did last time I saw them with a big lead.
Well, they feel like they're very much in the ascendancy, but M.U.C keep their spirits high, smiling, lots of chatting. They've overcome a lot of challenges this season just to be able to put a team out here at EUCF.
It's after this point, but once we get going, I want to talk about the way these pools are now shaping up and what we're looking at going into the next round here, Morgan, because things are getting crazy here in Caorle.
As Smith gets it down to Holzer. We'll see how crazy they get on this pitch. Still to come, Smith. That's a nice break around to the Russian, Namov. Looking for Hornschmeyer, gets Hornschmeyer in the middle of the pitch. And you can hear Ranelagh raise their voices, warning this throw could come from, or go to anywhere, I should say. It can come from one man. As Smith gets it down to Meyer. Meyer, far sideline, he's looking for Holzer, he finds him. Holzer back in the middle of the pitch. Not a whole lot of movement. Hornschmeyer eventually gets free. Pierce has picked up the challenging assignment. Has that one, plenty of flow for Holzer to chase down. He looks for Nomov in the other corner. That's some great dumping and swinging by the Germans. And then he tries to hit in the middle. Meyerhofer somehow collects that while staying in bounds. Very nicely done.
Very nicely done. The big swing really set that one up. The hockey assist that went cross field there, it floated, and you may have thought, that one's a bit too much, but it was the most open space on the field. He left it there with lots of time for his swing to get under it. There it is. And that set everything up. Again, that could have easily been misconstrued as an errant throw, but that was a perfect throw into the best space on the field, and then the low throw to score.
You can see Hornschmeyer attracting the attention of 2 Ranelagh defenders as he cuts to finish that move from Nomov. Nomov, full awareness, rather than trying to squeeze it in to Hornschmeyer. He's made the second part of that cut. He just sees Meyerhofer completely free, hits him.
So, Lork, Ranelagh beat Cusp. We talked about that. A game that was shortened, but that they deserved. They got 3 on the bounce to close that game out despite the length of the game. They are going to go ahead and be top of this pool. Which is
if they win, if they beat M.U.C, yep, definitely.
If they win this pool, yes. They seem to think that that's already done because of the other. But anyways, if they win this, they've got the pool. That means they take what would be the 2nd seed going forward because they have the 2nd seed in this pool, which is Bologna. So they're going to be on the opposite side of champions Clapham. That means they're going to put Cusp onto the same side as champions Clapham, should everything kind of pan out here in this last round.
Actually, you're right. Mathematically speaking, because of matchups, it's basically impossible for Ranelagh to lose this group now.
So now that Ranelagh has won this game, won this pool, let's say, they're on the other side of the pool.
Huge shot coming out of McNulty. Will return to your point just after Doyle battles this one out in the end zone. Ooh. And by battles it out, we mean gets taken out by that big man, Louis Stewart, or sorry, not big man, Michael Remy on the other side.
Hoofs a clacking there. The Clydesdales take each other out. And,
I would describe Remy as more of a cow than a horse, but the point is, he's big, he's bad.
Hoofs clacking one way or the other, but a hoof clacking foul called. And I think it's uncontested. I think hands are out there. So it's going to be a goal line dishy, and we're going to let Lorcan call this one and then go back to talking about the open division and how it's shaping up.
Okay, so Luke Doyle picking it up, and immediately he looks for TAG.TV, and immediately he finds them to push the lead out to 6-4.
6-4. Ranelagh looking good. That they're going to make sure there's no 2 ways about winning this pool. So, by the looks of things, by our estimation, we've got Clapham, we've got Bologna on one side of the pool. And then in the last round, we saw a match between Chevron and Mooncatchers, which could have accounted for the pool. And I think the favorites, based on what happened in WCC and what we've seen lately, would have been Moon, even though Chevron can always put up a tough game against anyone, all the time.
Some of the best match defense in Europe.
They are an excellent team, and they were down, and they went on a run to steal that game.
2 runs, yeah.
2 runs, and I'm not sure Moon are upset about being on the other side of the draw now.
Well, that's an interesting debate that we hope everyone will be having at home. We certainly had it. I had it with Ravi in the booth to a small extent. We've been talking about it a lot since. What that crucially means, though, is Moon comes second in that pool. They'll wind up on the same side of the bracket as Ranelagh. By coming top, Ranelagh have booked themselves a place against one of the highest finishing 3rd place teams, the 4 highest finishing 3rd place teams, so best point differential, most wins. Are the ones who will go through to the pre-quarters. So Ranelagh are going to wait for one of them, whereas the team who comes second in this pool will be going up against the OF winners, which will most likely be Bad Skid unless KFK can beat them in the game. I think it's happening right now.
It's all happening right now. All open division games are on at the moment, so we will keep you updated the best we can as this one keeps going.
Meyer. He's looking for Meyerhofer, can't get him. Has to go to Holzer. Holzer coming from deep backfield, making himself free, and then gets it right back to Meyer, playing against this Ranelagh zone. The first time they came up against a zone today, Steph, they did quite well for themselves. Looked pretty confident, looked pretty comfortable. So now it's on the far side, Nomov. Nomov gets it down to Holzer. So they're already at halfway. Ranelagh keeping their shape for now.
It's a little bit of a different zone here. This is not the 2-3-2 we saw last time, and they have now melted. Except for, no, they have not. I lied to you.
How could you,
remain in the zone. But this looks like a bit more of an arrowhead front, or it did. Now, have they melted? No, there's still some loose players.
Meyer gets on the far sideline. Something you'll notice about Ranelagh, they've got a few different defensive sets, and you can kind of learn to recognize them by the personnel they put out on the pitch when they're playing them. One of those personnels is Stephen Jones, the captain. It is, of course, brilliant to see him out there after he's battled his way back from injury. As you can see, M.U.C working their way. They're on the front corner. Disc in the hand of Stops. He's looking. He has to send that way back to Meyerhofer. That's a bit of an accordion offensive structure at the end zone. Get too close, gets too intense, just open that thing back out. Gets to Holzer, now he's on the front corner, the opposite front corner to where Stops was just seconds ago. Tries to get it to Meyer, does so, and brings it back to 6-5. So M.U.C definitely still in this game.
Hanging around 1 point difference. They're in it. They're down a break still, but those breaks are, you know, they're very feasible to get back. M.U.C, I will say the energy-wise, as far as this game has gone, Ranelagh still has a bit more energy. They seem to be doing things a bit more efficiently. They seem to be making it a bit more difficult for M.U.C to count the goals, whether they're putting the zone on, whether it's their match D pressure. However, we know as well that the momentum and the energy of a game can change very quickly. One play in a game like this can shift the momentum, can change the mindset. And when you stick around, when you stay within 1 or 2 points and allow yourself that potential, stay focused, stay in it, where there is no counting M.U.C out here. And as we said, they've got 2 losses. They are almost certainly going to be at the bottom of the pool. So this is for pride, for everything right now. They train all season. As Lorcan had a chat before the game, this is the start of a brand new campaign for them. They missed out on WCC, and this is their next generation getting to go. So there's definitely going to be no quit in them for this game here, no matter what transpires.
Feely to DV. DV immediately launches it deep. That's classic Ranelagh structure. Doyle's down there, and he collects it comfortably for the score. Hornschmeyer can only watch him as he peels away. 7-5.
Well. Back up by 2. And Ranelagh, as I said, energy-wise, efficiency-wise, they're just doing it easier. And the no-ins that they're getting from Munich when they play match defense are being exposed. The deep cuts are going early, and the throwers they have no fear. There's no hesitation. They got more than enough guys sitting in the handler set or the first cutting sequence that are happy to turn and rip it, as we see here.
That's something about Ranelagh. They're so well drilled. They're so specified in the roles that each of their players have. They know what they're going to do. I mean, you've seen that structure plenty of times before. Get it to Feely, center it to the middle. He's going to look to either DV or Murphy. Traditionally would be like 2 of the main receivers they got in that. Sometimes Juice Peters as well, who I don't think is actually with them this weekend, which is, I would say, a big loss under normal circumstances, but they seem to be filling in the gaps quite well in his absence. As that one goes to Holzer, the middle of the pitch, so M.U.C need to keep keeping it close. They're going with a bit of a side sack, trying to isolate 2 cutters. And then a sweep across the pitch to give that space. Meyerhofer looking for options. Oh, and that's a difficult break, but he gets low and squeezes it in. Von Falkenhausen looks for Meyer, finds Meyer in the middle of the pitch. So Meyer still surveying, still sweeping it around, gets it to stops. Stops being marked closely by Liam Fletcher, so they're really struggling to get some good separation. Meyer has to bid. It looks so far from him, for momentary anyway. So now Meyer surveying, he gets it to Holzer. These some nice tight breaks they're pulling off. But I'd say if you were a M.U.C handler, you'd prefer it if there could be like slightly more separation from your cutters. They're just about able to get that one down the line. That's Milhouse back across. Mauov, and he's slightly put that away from Holzer. Holzer's able to change his pace, correct his position, and the bid through from Bogenkier. He can't get there in time. And it is collected by Igor Naumov for the score.
Great sequence of throws by the German outfit. Like you said, I mean, something on the open side would have been nice there, but they're throwing forehand breaks the whole way down well, not the whole way down the field, through the red zone. Once they went into the red zone offense, they engaged their forehand break offense, their forehand break end zone offense very efficiently. Meyer had to chase one errant throw to the sideline, and otherwise they looked good cashing that one in.
Even that throw slightly away from Holzer almost looks tactical now, as it gave Naumov that little bit of extra separation. You can see Bogenkier trying to get in there.
So looking around the scores in the open division right now, not everyone is on right now, and some of these scores are not right up to speed, but Chevre on 9-4 above Free Speed right now. M.U.C Ranelagh, of course, we're watching, and that one not quite up, but Clapham with a lead over RFO 3-1. Wall City 8-5 over Panthers from Roclaw, and is no good behind Gentle. That one I've obviously got my eye on. I would love to see them come back on that one. They're down 9-6 at the moment.
In the battle to top Pool OF, it looks like Badskid are 4 points up on KFK as well, as we're looking at Feely. Once again to DV, they want the deep shot to Doyle again. Oh, if it works the first time, then why not go back to it? Has the well run dry. Here goes Doyle. He can't get there in time. That's Justin Wallace with a brilliant chase down and defensive play. Perhaps tempting fate. Justin Wallace, of course, a famous friend of Jonas van Mielhaus. So now Torben Hornschmeyer, he tries to open up that one. He's cracked it. We're getting a battle on the other side. Wallace against Doyle. Wallace wins it again. Beats him defensively, beats him offensively, gets him back to a streaking handler. A little bit of pressure.
0-0 double victory in that matchup there. He's taking his lunch money with it, I think, right now.
So this is this is to tie it up and bring us to Galaxy Point. Linehour right outside the end zone. Huge credit to Justin Wallace. He's putting it all out there. Gets it just about down the line to Holzer. Holzer couldn't complete the move. So now Holzer's on that front corner. Remy tries to free himself up, and he does. The big man finds a small space and ties the game at 7s.
Jams it in the jam hole. 7 apiece. They're sticking around. It's Galaxy Point, ladies and gentlemen. One of our favorite here at ULTI.TV. One of our favorite all around the world. It is a preview to what we might get at the end of the universe. And for now, Galaxy Point, Ranelagh to receive. We got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
As we see one of the times Wallace skied the life out of Luke Doyle. Then gets it back to Linehour. And then Holzer and Remy. You can't even see him on screen when he starts this run. Here he comes, tries to attack the back of Corcoran.
Tractor mode.
Chugging his way down the pitch. Those some big tires he's got on him.
Big tires. We see 3SB collecting next to us. They're, of course, so excited to be on the stream next. The Toshnarova sisters, no strangers to our booth. So we know that they're coming up next. We don't quite know their opponent yet. We're waiting patiently. They're waiting patiently. We know you at home are waiting impatiently. You just can't wait to get that Ultimate India. It is all happening here, though, and you know, whatever's coming next doesn't matter because it's all about the present right now, Lorcan. Right now, it's happening. Galaxy Point.
7, Galaxy Point. Dara McNulty is down there in the end zone to pick it up, and he does so confidently. Gets it to Feely. Feely's going to immediately look for options. This time he's finding Sam Murphy on the far sideline. Is Sam Murphy going to uncork one straight away? Or are they going to look to play through the middle a little bit more? You can see kind of standoffish almost. Nicholas Smith giving him a lot of space. Holzer comes down to kind of clamp down on Feely, but a bit too late. Now Deavy has it. He's 1 for 2 on deep shots to Luke Doyle. There's McNamara, that man who got that big layout block earlier on.
How could we forget?
McNulty has Murphy, gives it to him. And back across to Feely. So much experience from Irish junior teams and junior programs on this side, multiple generations of it. Sam Murphy. Back again to Matthew Feely, so being forced back a little bit here, and Ranelagh maybe a slight bit gun shy. As Feely gets that, that's a tasty around break against Holzer. McNamara pops back into the middle. Sam Murphy, Meyerhofer tries to close him down, but you can see the gap he's giving him. He wants to shut off those deep shots, so he's not coming in as close. That's going to leave them open to a couple of easier breakthroughs, something Ranelagh really like to target offensively. So I don't know how successful a strategy that's going to be.
Double bicep flex pick called.
Murphy goes back to Feely. Almost a miscommunication. They corrected themselves. That is an almost lackadaisical. How beautiful was that break throw? And then TV throws back inside to Doyle. The short throw coming off for them. Doyle now goes back to Feely. It's a little bit of a court connection between those two boys. Both started off, well, they didn't both start off at Rebel, I suppose. Feely started off at BCS. Both started off in Cork. As Feely thinks about the scuba sides against, you can still see Meyerhofer is specifically playing far back as he can. We'll see if Ranelagh can expose that opportunity. Murphy tries to get it straight back to Feely. They're looking for a little one-to-one gamesmanship. McNamara back to Feely in the middle. Feely seems to have just decided, I'm taking this over. I'm taking every second pass. I'm going to run through and secure the half-time lead for us. McNamara clears up the line, brings a couple of defenders with him, frees it up for McNulty behind, gets it back to Feely. And continuing that every second pass tradition. McNulty, oh, he's momentarily shut out by Meyerhofer, and McNulty's going to call for a foul, but it went to Murphy, so I think he's just going to let that happen.
Wow. An interesting foul Mac completion. Feely, though. Right now, it's all about him. I've got this sense that the score is going to come from his hand. I've got this sense.
He's got this sense. He calls it the 7th sense. As that one arcs up, McNamara's going to have to beat somebody. That throw was perhaps a miscommunication. Great defensive effort by Felix von Falkenhausen. He's able to get one back on McNamara for that layout earlier on in the game.
The senses are off, Lork.
I think their mistake was not having him be involved. Gosh! Darn it, Torben. He just does spectacular things. Hornschmeyer gets the great grab, calls the timeout. I don't hate that as a timeout call, especially given the situation. Come out with a set play.
Come out with a set play. They got a whole field in front of them. They've just endured a long offensive possession from Ranelagh. They were threatening. They looked like they were going to score. I sensed it even, like how specifically it was going to come. It didn't come. An errant throw gave it back, and Torben, as you said, made a spectacular play, like a simple centering pass that required a spectacular leaping play. Gets it and has all the calm and patience in the world to get down to the ground and call the timeout immediately. We're locked. One turnover in on Galaxy Point. M.U.C, Ranelagh. It's happening.
And it will happen just after these short messages.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say.
So Hornschmeyer with the disc, he gets it down the line and gets it back. He's chasing it. He's going to lead this charge. They've already made it into the final third, on the edge of the end zone, if not in it. He takes a shot all the way. Meyerhofer scored to take half 8-7. Did you see that coming?
I did not. I didn't see it. I didn't sense it. I didn't smell it. Every of those senses were indicating that Ranelagh was going to get that goal. And M.U.C, I mean, all credit. We said that they were just hanging around. They're staying in it. They are in the lead. They took Galaxy Point, rather, and they are sticking it to Ranelagh right now. And Ranelagh, resting their top player, thinking they've got it all locked up, and watching this one potentially slip through the fingertips. Great grab, too. Nothing gratuitous about it. Needed to get horizontal there.
That is my favorite end zone cut that Meyerhofer made on that one. You attack open side under. Every defender in the world believes that you're trying to make the easy, I'm just going to run straight at the disc cut that everybody makes when they're desperate in that situation. You plant, leave your defender there, and then run a straight line for the end zone so the thrower can just put it around. And that's exactly what happened to Ranelagh in that situation. So 8-7. I'd say people are surprised watching from home. Also want to give 2 quick shout-outs. One to Fiona Murnau, the strength and conditioning coach. Her hard work is being put to the test right now by this M.U.C side as they're trying to run Ranelagh ragged. And then, of course, a quick shout-out to Fire One, who might be back in Dublin. So, speaking of being back, we will be back in just a few short minutes after these messages.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
And we're here to start the second half with Muck and an opportunity for them to double their lead. Holzer, the captain with the disc in hand, gets it to stops just about. That's a little bit of contact from Kyo. You can see how tightly they are marking them. Holzer still searching for options, so it just shows you Muck were able to get the break, the huge break necessary. They did not start on offense. They were down 2 points at one point. Now they got a chance to go up by 2. Oh, that one was well cleared, picked up by Nomov, and he just launches it deep. That's a speculative decision. There was always more Ranelagh players, and McNamara gets up big for another substantial D, but he's going to have to call an injury basically immediately. Didn't like how he came down on that leg. Just a little bit of conversation as we can see Michael Stops coming off, Torben Hornschmeyer coming on for him as well. And I believe it is Matthew Feely who will be replacing Jack McNamara for Ranelagh.
Get their offensive handler, offensive weapon in with a injury on the turn. Not a bad moment for it, not at all that it was planned, but that worked out timely for the Irish.
And there's Feely, that's that quick action around, gets it to Pierce on the far sideline. Pierce sends that one down, taken in well by Keenan. Keenan's been playing quite well this game so far. And that is
the curse of the commentator. Or there's a call on the play.
There might be a call on the play as well. He was trying to find Kyo further down the pitch. Seemed like Meyer may have just stepped in enough.
Scores, some are updated, some are not. Gentle running away with it on Isno, 13-9. Bad skid, maybe not updated, still looks like a 4-point lead. Piru up 8-6 against Smash D. 3SB 11-7 over Devon. Wall City still up by 4, 11-7 over Panthers. There's a look at the scores around the park.
So Feely now gets it back. Finds Doyle on the far sideline. A little bit of a court connection on this Dublin team. There goes Liam Fletcher. Fletcher gets it across to Kyo. Kyo thinks about launching it, thinks about blading it across to Keenan, decides against both. Instead takes the smart swing across to Doyle. Doyle to McCreary. McCreary playing downfield for a lot more of this than you used to. But then there's a beautiful shot, and he sets it all up. That's another hockey assist, if you ask me, before Kyo finishes it with Keenan. And Ranelagh respond with a break to tie things up.
Couple of snowmen on the board there, Lorcan, 8 apiece. Ranelagh, and they fire the rocket, and we know that that's got to be getting things going for them. Best celebration in the business right now. The rocket launch by the Ranelagh crew.
You don't want to see that rocket launched against you.
No, nobody wants that, but I mean, boy, does that do some good for the lads. Tell us about the coaching in Dublin. It was Sarah Melvin.
So
at
a group of
WCC.
charlatans got together, and they Ian French is one of the most established coaches probably in Irish Ultimate. He was the coach of the 2019 Irish women's team who won gold at Euros. Got to meet the president. Sarah Melvin, of course, a star of that team. Sarah Melvin, one of the most highly decorated, highly experienced Irish women's players ever. Irish players ever, really. I mean, possibly the best, definitely one of the best. Be a fun argument to have. She was part of the Eurostars tour. She's just got a wealth of experience. She also learned an awful lot going to University of Limerick in sunny Limerick.
Sunny Limerick.
And they've come together along with Leo Micklem, who is he's come up through the Dublin system, but again, a lot of experience playing. And they just come together to try and come up with these like really rigid, here's the rules, here's the specificity. We're not just going to go by feelings. We're going to have roles. We're going to make this as tactical, break it down as much as we can so we know exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it, and then we know exactly why it didn't work when it doesn't. Combined with Fiona Murnau, who has been a big part with their strength and conditioning as well, so they have the physical to match the mental. We'll see how it stands though, because Muck are still in the lead after giving that break up. And they're looking to work it downfield awfully quickly. That's Falkenhausen, Von Falkenhausen. He looks to go back in the middle. Hornschmeyer collects, so right on the end zone. Stops, makes a good move against McNulty. McNulty stays wise, stays strong. They forced to go back to Holzer instead. Holzer back in the middle of Hornschmeyer. Hornschmeyer, he's got plenty of breaks. He goes instead to the open side pass, line too far ahead. Meyer Hofer. My. So close.
Throwing error, I guess. It was a Hornschmeyer over-led throw. It looked so pretty out of hand. Oh, I think a left-hand layout, if he could have twisted the body, he could have got there either way. It goes to ground, and Ranelagh going to go the other way with an immediate miscue.
Yeah, McNulty miscommunicating downfield with Stephen Jones. It seemed like Stephen Jones went deep. McNulty was expecting him to come back under, so Holzer has the disc again. He's looking for Hornschmeyer. Hornschmeyer is just doing pirouettes in the middle of the pitch, trying to get free from Liam Fletcher. Eventually he does, but you gotta say it was mostly the throw that did that work. And there's the shot to the front corner, and that's just a great chase down by Van Falkenhausen.
Hornschmeyer making up for his last leading assist. This one he fires it right through the guts of his intended receiver, chops him in half nearly. And M.U.C answer, they hold, they dictate the pace. They're up 9-8. And
so we have another look at that slight overthrow. Tantalizingly close. I get what you mean though. You feel like if he'd gone for it with his left, his offhand, he would have been in a better position. And here you can see Hornschmeyer, that's the classic, he had to stop. What you don't see there is about the 6 seconds of trying to get free from Fletcher just before that moment. But Hornschmeyer's got so many tricks to his trade, and then he hits Van Falkenhausen right at the front corner. That's a great cut by Van Falkenhausen. Really well timed, recognized the opportunity, took it as soon as it presented itself.
So the Ranelagh outfit talking about having to want it right now. It's such a tough mental game to win out your pool when you know it's already won. What are they going to do here? Or how much do you truly believe that this is a game that they're gonna put it, you know, leave everything on the field? Is that what they're done, or has the mental game of knowing they've got the pool emptied a bit of the passion? Well, I guess we'll find out and see how they close this one out.
So Feely, remains to be seen as gets a beautiful leading pass to Corn, who barely stops before throwing that one to Murphy, and he set that leading pass all the way down there, very comfortably chased down, taken in by Sam Micklem. And Micklem surveying, searching, waiting for a handler to become free. Eventually Murphy screams up from deep backfield to get the 1-2 technically. A nice little headbang celebration, in the score, 9-9.
And not necessarily dropping them, but Mickle with the dime. And they're back on the board. A great upline throw to set that up. The hockey assist again is the one that really counts. And the backwards pass to go forward for the goal there. And the head spike. You gotta love the head spike. That really sells it. Sam Murphy cracks it off the noggin and gets the extra points, but no rocket. I guess head spike nullifies the rocket.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what justifies using the rocket. I get it's meant to be big plays, but how do you define them? I think it's...
Is it a huck? A score? A huck for score?
We'll just have to try and piece it together from the evidence we can collect over the rest of this game. I guarantee you they get a break now to go 10-9 up. That rocket's coming out.
Even if the throw for score is a 1-foot throw.
I think so, because I think it's more about the momentum of the score, and you know, tying the game up at 9s isn't a rocket shooting moment for them. But you know, getting a break to take the lead back, I think that's rocket shooting.
Oh, I really need to know more about this rocket. I am now perplexed.
Well, the only way to learn more about this, the European Ultimate Championships, is to keep it here with ULTI.TV for free on YouTube.
Stay tuned. Don't you go anywhere.
Of course, we'd love it if you could comment, like, subscribe, tweet out, reuse any of our content on Instagram. We love that. Just tag us in it. We'll be putting out content all weekend long. And of course, if you have it within your hearts and your wallets to make a quick trip to Patreon, we would be very grateful. But of course, right now, all we need is your attention as Holzer gets the disc, middle of the pitch. Looking for options. Myers trying to make some moves. Dole's got a tough task keeping him locked up. Myers been very impressive. That number 7 for M.U.C.
Having a
Kevin
game.
Meyer. He's forced to throw it all the way back to Holzer. Really great defense by McCreary. And then Holzer immediately resets. Meyer gets in a power position and shoots. He's looking for stops. Fletcher on stops. And that's just great body positioning by stops.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it. It looked like we were on our way for a contest there, but Stops was in front. He stayed in front. He held body position. He's a long, lean figure, but he gave up nothing physically there and made Meyer's huck look good, because he did throw Meyer through to a contest, if we're going to be very honest here.
He had separation, but yeah, when they're that far away, you're not going to be able to, it's going to be very difficult to lead them. But that's just great body position. Liam Fletcher isn't about to go through someone to try and get a D. He knows the rules.
That's illegal.
That is something Muck said. Ranelagh is one of their favourite, if not their favourite European team to play. Always really high-spirited games. It is something the lads are quite famous for, is their incredible spirit. It was the same at Worlds.
And indeed, wasn't it Muck cheering on Ranelagh?
Yes.
Again, when they played against Bad Skid in a game ago.
It was at the World Ultimate Club. So Muck liked the Ranelagh name so much, they just like chanting Ranelagh. And they were doing it during their qualifying last year, about 2 weeks after Ranelagh had beaten Bad Skid in the quarterfinal. So Bad Skid were like, that's not cool. And Muck were like, oh, these are unrelated facts.
Just because we like the name.
We like chanting their name. They beat you in a heartbreaking quarterfinal. They're not related, we promise. Well, Bad Skid won that anyway, went to Wook. Starting off Muck's new 4-year campaign for the World Ultimate Club Championships 2026. And you know, as a launching point, EUCF isn't too bad, and as a game, this one is certainly something you can hang your hat on. They're putting it up to, bear in mind, Ranelagh came 4th last year in Europe. They are no shrinking violets on the European stage as Murphy gets it on the far side. There was a nice expansive swing from Feely. Gets it down the line to Doyle. Doyle's working it down the line to Deavy. I'm not sure. I think that might have been a slight switch there as Deavy's looking for options. He has McNulty, has Corcoran. Corcoran, I thought was going to have to bid, but he just chases it down. He puts that one up. He's moving. He's putting them a little bit risque, but you know what? It's working, so we're going to let it go. McNulty working with Murphy, tries to get to Murphy. Murphy's going to have a little bit of space. Remy's chasing him down to try and catch up. Gets it down the line to Luke Doyle. Doyle searching back in to McNulty, and then McNulty's doing a great job being a linchpin, chasing that disc again, clearing out the defense. Is going to be a pick called as Remy was struggling to catch up to Murphy.
A lot of good coverage upfield by the German unit here. They're taking away a lot of the unders. Ranelagh, on the other hand, are efficiently going sideline to sideline. Their handlers are making some great centering passes.
Oh, that's an unfortunate one. I think Murphy was shooting for Deavy in the end zone. Slight miscommunication. Of course, yeah. You wonder how intense they are. We're starting to feel it from the sideline.
You can hear it, you can feel it. It's 10-9, disc in hand for Torben Hornschmeyer and Mook.
Let's see what Hornschmeyer can do. We know he's got shots, but he doesn't mind playing it under as well. Remy takes that. It's a beautiful shot to Wallace as Wallace screams under. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more damage from Wallace in the air. I'm sure the Muck fans watching from home wouldn't either. Sebastian Phillip launches that one deep. Luke Doyle just bodies in. Big, impressive presence by the Cork man.
Luke Doyle having a heck of a game this match as well. I think he does a lot of the grind. He's not their initiator. He's not their primary, but he grinds and he grinds. He's winning battles. And just there, another taste of what he can do on the defensive side of the disc.
Corcoran swings that all the way across. Well taken down in the end. Just about by Micklem. Then Deavy centers it back into the middle of the pitch. Waiting for it was Luke Doyle. Well, this is an O-line as Feely just puts that over the top, rushing it. That's very unexpected. Remy gets the D. Wallace picks it up, gets it back to Hornschmeyer. Just go deep now, Wallace. I am sorry, I keep trying to ask for it. I've just been so impressed with him. Oh, huge bid! But Remy stands tall and proud, collects that under immense pressure. Somehow now he swings it around, gets to Wallace on the sideline. Wallace is looking, flips it upside down as if he was going to go for a scoop. But Remy is throwing himself about there to maintain possession. He wants this lead. This would be a significant score for Mook to put in and go up to a 2-point lead. Hornschmeyer. Oh, and another huge bid, gets nothing. Deavy's grasping at air as Phillip gets back to Hornschmeyer in the middle of the pitch. He has Remy, immediately throws it to him. This is some good dump swing, but not a whole lot of movement happening downfield. That one, Wallace gets it somehow. And then he puts up a floaty, risky one, and it is collected in for the score by Schulz Brock.
Wow, what a point by Mook. They have taken the momentum. They have taken all the energy of this game, which I spoke about in the first half, saying Ranelagh looked the goods. Ranelagh looked to be dictating the energy and the momentum. They have let that slip away for one reason or another, and I think the biggest reason is the intensity and the will that remains in this Munich side to find themselves a win, to get themselves in that win column.
That will really defined by Remy just working so hard. That layout to save possession. Wallace battling through a throw that looked like it was going closer to McNulty than it was to him. And then, of course, a beautiful toss over the top. Well, beautiful is probably being a bit generous. A toss over the top to Schulz Brock. And we are going to oh, yeah, look at the wee kids playing football. Ultimates for everybody. We'll ignore the ball he's playing with, as we're going to take a quick break ourselves, and we'll be back after these messages while the teams enjoy a timeout.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund our
work
work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a game that proves you never know what's gonna happen until you watch it. As M.U.C, Schrodinger's opponent, can you beat them? Are they gonna beat you? It all remains to be seen once you actually enter into their Pandora's box. Torben Hornschmeyer has been a crucial part of that effort, but it would be unfair to give all the credit to him. I mean, joined right now on that line by Justin Wallace, who had one incredibly impressive point where he got a sky on the defensive end and on the offensive end, but then also has been textbook since there. That's if that poll comes off well, it'll just show how much less I know about the sport than Hornschmeyer, because it looked like he skied it. Let's see how Ranelagh can respond. They're 2 points down. I don't think anybody expected them to be here, but sure, nobody expected them to beat Cusp either, and that warns you about the dangers of consensus. As that one bops, Luke Doyle's trying to find Feely and he can't. They take the time out to settle their nerves, and it seems they've only shook them further. There comes the shot through the middle. Wallace gets the score. Nicholas Smith with the assist, and M.U.C with the 3-point lead.
On the trot, M.U.C is doing everything they need to, but that time they didn't need to do much. Ranelagh is shaken and stirred. That rocket, they might as well pack it up right now. There is no need for that. They are giving away scores like they are unwanted clothes. I'm not even sure how that works, but a first throw error there. There it is. M.U.C on the doorstep. All they need to do is center and throw the easy score. So Ranelagh gets away with a win over Kuth. They're in the throne, in the comfortable velvet seat. They've won the pool. They rest Rogers, but they're confident. They're going to win this one. They are the pride of Ireland, and now they have no answers. The rocket remains in hand.
Hold on. No answers. That's a little presumptuous. There's plenty of game left. They could come up with some. They might not be correct.
There's no answers,
but there'll
in the
be
last
answers.
4 points. In the last 4 points, there's been no answers, and that was magnified by what we saw on that pull reception, first throw error, and easy centering score. So yes, there could be an answer, but we're waiting for it.
Well, here it comes as McCreary launches that one. It's a good bit ahead. He's chasing it all the way. So, what a score! Sam Murphy lighting it up. Did you have any questions?
Could we see the rocket right now? Is the rocket coming out, or are they too far behind for it? Borkin doesn't like when I say things against the Irish club, even though he's a pelter.
Okay, first off, I don't like when you say things that are that assumptive. As we have another look at this beautiful shot from McCreary. Coming out on O-line, of course, the D-line staple. You can show Ranelagh are flexible. They will mix things up. What a grab. Incredible stuff. Sam Murphy maybe giving up a couple of ribs for that one, but a very well-earned kick spike. I normally don't really like kick spikes, if I'm honest with you.
I don't like any heavy spike. I don't like any disc-breaking spike.
But, you know, if you're willing to break your collarbone to go get the disc, I think you deserve to kick it a little bit on the other side.
Fair enough.
Very impressive stuff.
And so there's the answer. You're right, I was assumptive, Lorcan, in saying that you don't like me assuming stuff myself about your compatriots. I will stop
I mean in general.
I will stop the assumptions.
Well, look,
there we have it. The answer is there.
I think we were guilty of making a lot of assumptions ourselves coming into this matchup. We didn't anticipate M.U.C putting up this much of a fight, certainly being in a measure of control to be 12-10 and forcing what was a sensational grab out of Sam Murphy. That's McCurry's second tape-to-tape, as you quite beautifully called it, huck of this game.
Yeah.
And that stops on the far sideline. He's looking for Holzer. He finds him in the middle of the pitch. So M.U.C just have to walk this one out. Get it across to Nomov. Nomov searching, but nothing really happening for him downfield. Stops is trying to work against McNulty, but good coverage by the young Irishman. Holzer with the disc back. That's captain on captain right now as he's marked by Jones. Gets it back to Meyer. Meyer has been sensational all game long for this German side. Really impressive stuff. Gets it back around to Nomov. Nomov looking, gets back to Holzer. So they're really being pushed back here a lot until that huge break. Meyerhofer finds the space and finds the man in the form of von Falkenhausen for another score to that player's name as well.
13-10. M.U.C had to work for that one after the big momentum-killing layout that Ranelagh put up. They received their pull. They walked one in. They ran their offense. Nomov here with a couple efficient touches, but that's the big throw to set the score up, and that's the throw to cash it in there. Von Falkenhausen keeps the German outfit in front, 13-10. I will not go as far as saying there are no answers. I will go as far as saying it is now that Ranelagh can really show their mettle. Are they going to have to use this game as a loss that they're going to have to say, that they're going to have to draw from to go through this tournament, or are they going to be able to make a character-building win out of it and to find a way to score 5 of the next 6 points?
Ooh, when you put it like that. Oh, wow. That is a tall order. Well, we will see how they rise to the occasion. Or will they shirk from the challenge as Feeling with the disc. Couldn't get it to McCreary straight away. He goes for a hook himself. Keenan is chasing that down. Good. He's going to run onto it, and he collects it. Wonderfully done. Snatches it up, and now he's looking to pop it in for the quick finish. Nicely taken in by Louis Stewart. So a quick response by Ranelagh.
Well, I mean, their responses are quick. This tape-to-tape business, they must have liked the call because that's all they're doing now. And like we said, tall order, but that order gets a little shorter after they put one in now.
Okay, so now they only need to score 4 out of the next 5 as we have another look at that throw from Matthew Feely. You can see Shane Keenan just pumping the legs. And once again, just to commend it, really great follow-up as well. This is Louis Stewart this time, but that's something that Ranelagh do really well. So we've seen from Ranelagh is multiple defensive looks with varying degrees of success. You're an experienced coach at the elite level. Out of the defensive spots we've seen so far, those variations on zone that match, what do you think they should look to help them fight back? Because these scores need to be breaks.
I think without any assistance, without that 8th-man defender, without rain or heavy wind, I can, no matter how efficient my zones and junks have looked early in the game, when it comes down to it and I need breaks, I want to win with athleticism, and I want to, like, each matchup's got to win. I'm coming down in a match D if this is me, and I'm trying to outrun these guys.
No, they've come down with what I believe is a 3-1, a wall zone? 3-1-3 perhaps?
It is. It's a thrower pressure zone here.
It might just be a classic cup, to be honest with you. They've got the mark. They're not really man-marking any of the other handlers. They're just kind of standing in the space to stop downfield pressure. It's Aidan Kelly. We'll see what... Yeah, Enda Callagher's there, standing deep in more of a cup-style position as Meyer has the disc, sends it across to Meyer-Hofer. So
they've gone absolutely opposite of what I would have done, but hey, who's to say I would have got it right? And they are making them throw, if nothing else. They're just going through the hands. They are making them.
That was a spectacular over-the-head throw by Meyer, and then there's a great leading pass, and chasing it down for the score all the way on the opposite end of the pitch. It's well taken in. Brilliant stuff from M.U.C. They are feeling themselves right now, and they deserve to be.
Doing the M.U.C. dance. And what happened there is, yeah, they made them throw it a lot. They gave, what they did by employing a zone there was put it in the hands of M.U.C. and assumed they will make a mistake, because there's never any heavy pressure. There's no heavy pressure.
Look at that hammer from Meyer, all the way over the top. Brilliantly done. And again, because there wasn't that much heavy pressure, he had the time to line it up. And that's a fantastic shot into the end zone, and chasing it down was Michael Schutz.
We're going to make them throw a hammer. We're going to make them throw a difficult throw. Okay, these guys, this is a team that's firing right now. This is a team that's having a heck of a game.
That's a great point,
We got, like, I'm not just going to sit and wait. I want to put, I want heavy pressure. No ins. Like, Ranelagh has been scoring the tape-to-tapes. M.U.C. in the second half of this game has been going through the hands, working their system. I would like to see, if they get another chance, for them to come out with their fastest, most athletic D-line and see if they can run a D out of them. Take the D, not wait for the D.
Well, first of all, like you said, we'll have to see if they get that chance, as it's an O-line chasing it down. O-line featuring McCreary. McCreary, one of, if not the best Ranelagh player out there from them so far. DB decides against that deep shot down the pitch. Instead, it goes to Doyle on the sideline. Gets it down to Keogh. Keogh spreads it out to Murphy. Keogh just burns up the line again. Murphy says no, he doesn't want it, and instead throws it into the waiting arms of Nicholas Smith. Perhaps a slight bit too lackadaisical. That's Justin Wallace with the disc. He doesn't want to send it all the way down to the end zone straight away. He does it on the second asking, chasing after it for the score is Burkhard Schulz Brock. Get your Brocks off. Get your Brocks off, honey. 15-11.
Get your Brocks off, honey, as Lorcan Murray has so eloquently put it. M.U.C. have done exactly what they set out to do at the start of this game. They are just going to keep playing, just try to win the game in front of them. Ranelagh gets upset after a wonderful start to this tournament. They come in potentially overconfident, potentially over-rested, or potentially under-focused. We can only assume, we can only speculate, but what we can tell you very certainly is that they failed to win their last game of the pool despite winning it, and M.U.C. takes a hard-earned victory to go into the next round.
A huge congratulations to M.U.C. They do still, I think, finish bottom of their pool, which is a tough scenario to find yourself in, but that's what happens when you lose to Uprising and to CUSP as well. That is going to be a bitter pill to swallow for Ranelagh as they top their group but lose 15-11 in M.U.C.'s only win so far of their campaign. Huge congratulations to the Germans. You can take nothing away from them. And I would warn people about assigning this victory exclusively to the upper echelons of their squad, the names that are more established on the European stage: Torben Hornschmeier, Dennis Holzer, to a lesser extent Igor Naumov. Igor Naumov was huge. Kevin Meyer was sensational. Nicholas Smith, fantastic getting that final D. Honestly, von Falkenhausen was brilliant, finishing off so many plays. Lionauer was great. Philip showed up every now and again. Jonas von Milchowski, I think I might have got that right, Milhouse as it is. Schulzbrock getting the finishing blow, but I would have to say my MVP of that game, some sensational plays, some really smart plays as well, making the right decision. 2 assists as well as a couple of blocks and a goal, and of course that final throw to the end zone and to Brock collected by Brock. That's Justin Wallace. I think you've got to give so much credit to that man for this result. Incredible stuff by M.U.C.
I was waiting for you to say his name. I was sure that's where you were going. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It was that double That point where he got the double sky was the beginning of the momentum shift as well. When he put his thumbprint on the game, that's when his team started to feel the difference. And so big shout out to Wallace, big shout out to Muck, to Mook, to M.U.C. Job well done. Congratulations despite the placing in the pool. Lorcan has spent himself giving to this game as he does every time. And it's been my pleasure to call this game alongside. Thank you all for joining us.
I'm going to get, oh, there's that huge D. And still chased down by Von Falkenhausen. I'm going to get in trouble if I don't also give a quick shout out to that big, beautiful man, Michael Remy, as well. Always in our hearts. And he was also quite great for them in this game, got some crucial scores. Amazing performance by the German, showing you that anything can happen here at EUCF. So why would you want to watch anything else? We've got 2 more top quality games. We've got the pre-quarter in the women's division, followed by the pre-quarter in the open division. We know that 3SB are in the pre-quarter on this stream, and they'll be playing
Disco Bolo
in what promises to be a very exciting game. Disco Bolo pushing Valkyria to a universe point. I believe they lost that game, but still pushing them very close.
right now.
He's going to have to bid. Oh, just a
football. Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV.